Well, hello everybody. We are going through a tumultuous time as we build up to the equinox eclipse. And as you will see, I've done quite a few videos talking about the potentials for the UK, France, politics in general. I wanted to do a recap on this weekend. I was asked by a lot of you, what's going on with the Tommy rally? Do I see anything? But I do, so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Mandelson and Starmer, and then do a little bit of a postscript on Charlie Kirk's situation. First of all, I believe that tomorrow is the first time in history that every London football club is playing a home game on the same day, right? Which means we are going to have, I think it's somewhere around 700,000 football fans descending on London. At the same time, we have everyone descending for the rally. What does this mean? This seems very, very odd timing, doesn't it? Do they want to have all the football people there as well? So there's total chaos, so no one can really tell the numbers of the rally versus the football. Is it to create a mass chaos event? I really don't know. Building up to this eclipse, anything could happen. Right, although I think it would be, given the whole week's events, probably too much, right? But you never know. Wanted to put that out there. I've been talking about Starmer's and Labour being tenuous in terms of their control of power. We had the very embarrassing thing with Mandelson, as if it wasn't known first. I mean, what do we have MI5 for? They don't seem to be able to find out anything when it comes to Savile and Mandelson's activities. But look, this was known. Starmer was trying to bury it. He thought he could get away with keeping Mandelson there. But I mean, Mandelson's been as slimy as anything for years. He's been in sleaze corruption. He's always resigning and coming back. So they probably thought they'd get away with it again. But it's really destabilized the Starmer government, with some people saying Mandelson could try and bring him down. So now he's probably got Rayner and Mandelson and Miliband all trying to bring him down, plus Wes Streeting in the background plotting to come in. It's unlikely Rachel Reeves will ever deliver the budget. Today, they found out we've had zero growth in the UK for 12 months, probably a lot worse than that, probably negative growth given the inflation. These figures are terrible, plus he's got Trump coming next week, and who knows what could happen tomorrow, although I'm not making any predictions right now. Next. Okay, let's talk about Charlie Kirk. Now, I had a lot of people, on my stream saying, oh, he wasn't shot in the chest. Well, look, I did the stream right away, and that's what I saw, okay, was that it seemed to hit here. But what I did is I watched back live on what Alex Jones was saying on Harrison Smith's show when the news actually broke, and I watched several other people who were broadcasting live when it broke, and they all said their perception was the same, that he was shot in the chest. I've watched it frame by frame, and it always seems the bullet hits here on the O of freedom, which was written across his T-shirt. What's emerged is he was wearing a bulletproof vest. The bullet did strike him here, and it ricocheted or broke up and went into the jugular. So please don't jump down my throat. There's numerous videos of marksmen shooting into bulletproof vests, showing with polystyrene above how the bullet fragments and hits into the polystyrene. It also explains those people who are getting conspiratorial and saying, why did his T-shirt move in a weird way? Well, it's the bulletproof vest, blah, blah, blah. Right, I just wanted to say that to clear up that one. Some people saying on Twitter it's 424 days between the Trump assassination, which I think was fake, okay, for the record, Trump assassination attempt and the Charlie Kirk assassination. 424 is very significant in Gematria. It signifies the Messiah ben David, right, the suffering Messiah. In sort of this Jewish tradition, they believe a new Messiah is born in every generation, and they carry out certain themes. Some Ukrainian rabbis think that Trump is the Messiah ben David. And when Trump was at the Wailing Wall, the minute he touches it is actually 4:24 in the afternoon. So there we get the 4:24 again. So people were just kind of pointing out that little bit of gematria. In case you guys are wondering, it was 12:20 exactly when Charlie Kirk was shot. Okay, now I had no idea that he was this well known in the UK. I mean, I thought when the BBC, Sky, and the Daily Mail were covering it so extensively that it would be over the heads of most British people. But I was wrong. I saw on my Facebook timeline that I have numerous friends that knew and loved him. Equally, there were a lot of people that hated him. So people obviously knew about him. He was having an effect. He'd done this debate at the Oxford Union, and also he was, loads of people in the UK tweeting about him. There's a vigil tonight in Westminster, I think. Well, there's definitely a vigil. I think it's in Westminster. So he was very widely known, even among friends of mine who I would have thought didn't pay any attention to kind of American politics. Because look, although he was on my radar, he wasn't like the biggest deal for me. I regarded him as someone who's just to the right of the centre-right. Some people writing on my timeline saying he was radical. I think he's pretty typical American Christian conservative in terms of his views on guns, abortion. I don't find that radical. The fact that he's invited to the Oxford Union to debate and he's in Turning Point, which is Douglas Murray, Jordan Peterson kind of stuff, says to me he's very acceptable in the mainstream, therefore not that radical. Right, okay, so let's get that out the way. But I'm surprised at his popularity. That really, really shocked me. And someone was saying, he's sort of good looks, pretty wife, young children. He's very like a young Kennedy. And perhaps he was being primed to be president, particularly because of his huge popularity with young people. When I put all that together, I think this is a very significant killing. And someone else was saying, this is the most significant political assassination really, since maybe Martin Luther King or more John F. Kennedy. Therefore, if it's so significant, this guy, which appears to me he now is, from the reactions I've seen all around the world, from even the BBC, even SABC in South Africa covering this extensively, is it likely it's just some random 22-year-old that did this? Is it likely? Now, a lot of people are saying that it doesn't necessarily have to be a professional hit, because anyone who's handled a gun, they have very, very good scopes, and it's not that difficult to aim on a target that distance away, even if you're not very experienced. So a lot of people are saying, well, it doesn't have to be professional. That may be true. I don't know enough about guns to dispute that. But what I would say, that for a 22-year-old, fairly young, right, apparently he obviously hasn't killed before, in the heat of the moment to have got that much right, in other words, he's already scoped out the area, so he knows the vantage point. He knows where Charlie Kirk's going to be sitting. He's managed to get on top of that building with no one seeing him, no one questioning him. He's laid in wait and arranged his gun, and he's laid there for a long time with no one seeing and questioning him. Is it lucky that he just got away with this? Doesn't this seem like an awful lot is falling in place for a first-timer with no experience doing this sort of thing? Then he manages to shoot the target, kill him with one shot. Then there's a very convenient decoy, an old man who was pretending in the crowd, who was pretending it was him and saying, shoot me, shoot me. That's very convenient, isn't it? That there's this decoy while he gets off the roof. There is footage of him jumping off the roof. There's no one around, miraculously. And while he's running across the roof, he's caught on CCTV, but, he gets away with it. And as he jumps off the roof, where's the gun? He's had a chance to disassemble the gun, put it in his backpack, jump off the roof, land safely, and disappear without trace for days on end. He hasn't been found. He's only found because he apparently told the pastor, who told his father, who turned him in. You mean that a first-timer, 22-year-old, he gets lucky on every one of these counts. He gets lucky by no one seeing him when he's in position, no one seeing him as he takes the shot, no one seeing him as he gets off the roof and disassembles the gun, no one seeing him while people are fleeing and running around and everything's happening. No one sees this person coming off the roof, and then he disappears and no one is managing to find him. Does this all make sense? Plus, then we have the story of the gun was found in the woods, now reassembled. So there's a big man under this guy, but he goes in the woods, reassembles the gun for whatever reason, leaves it there. He's been clever enough to take the cartridges and put them back in the gun, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's a whole lot of moving parts here. Look how much this first-timer, 22-year-old, had to get right. And while people will say that on the driving range they can hit a target at that distance 7 times in a row, and they can shoot a hog no problem at that distance, yeah, but they're not nervous. It's I was very, very good at playing tennis in practice. Very, very good. I didn't hit the ball out. I served perfectly. When you're in a match, whole different story. Even the best players at match point can fluff a point, right? Because of the pressure. So can such a rookie perform and do that well at all the pressure points? I think this might be a patsy, not totally buying it, right? So I'm not going with people either who say it's a false flag. Not everything is a false flag. It's a bit of a cope, I think, sometimes for people who can't cope with all these bad things happening. So I don't think this was a false flag. Hope you enjoyed that.